Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fantastic, the legendary Pinball Republic London. So we're going to quickly go through all the games here. And I'm going to say, we might be closing, so now's the time to come and visit because you may not get to play these games. I'm going to start with Stargazer, a Stern Classic. There are less than 300 of these games in the world. 9-Ball, less than 400. These are two amazing tournament games. One by Steve Kirk and the other one by Harry Williams. Absolutely amazing games. Free Fall. I don't even think there's 100 of these in the world, and you can play this game here at Pinball Republic. Lightning, not one of Stern Classic's best games, but not the worst game in the world either. Cheetah, another amazing Stern Classic. Very rare game, wide body. I think there's probably 3 in the UK, if that. Meteor, you know it, you love it, you want to come and play it. We've got one of the best ones in the country. Alien Poker, a brilliant Williams game, super low rated, but it's a fantastic classic game, especially in tournaments. You'll see it in all the big tournaments. It is brilliant. Then we move on to something more modern, Game of Thrones. Steve Ritchie and Dwight did a great take of this game. This is a premium, again, very rare to play on location. You normally see pros, and this game plays phenomenally. The one, the only, the perhaps overrated, the Addams Family. We've got one here at the Pinball Republic. Of course, you have to have an Addams Family. Batman Forever, another very rare game, not one you see often. We got this widescreen DMD on it, that's fantastic. This is quite a tough game, but also shows its age a little bit in terms of how it plays. A real kind of novelty game, Strikes and Spares. You thought that was a Bally game, actually it turns out it's a Gottlieb game, and this is kind of a weird one where you're effectively playing balls. It's not really pinball, but it's a lot of fun. Roadshow, one of the worst games of all time in my opinion, but you might love it. It's Red, it's Ted, and you're listening to the most god-awful country music ever made. Some people love this game, some people hate it. I'm one of the haters, but this game plays beautifully. A bit more modern, Avatar. This is a phenomenal game, really difficult. Really challenging. Ours is super challenging because we've made it incredibly hard, just because it plays too easy if you don't. But this is a fantastic game to play. Again, very modern, colored DMD, quite a rare game to see on location these days. Roller Coaster Tycoon, this is new in. Another Pat Lawler game. It's actually a pretty good game when you get the hang of it, but this one needs a bit of, this just come in, needs a bit of TLC to get it up to our normal standard. Tron, what can I say about Tron? Lyman Sheets, together with, well actually, debate on who did this, but it's definitely a board game, and it plays like a board game, shoots like a board game. This is a phenomenal game, and this game here is new to the club recently. It plays fantastically. Again, a rare game to see on location these days. You can play it here at Pinball Republic. Swords of Fury, a super rare game. It's got some amazing music in it. This is my game. The game's not that great, but it's one of those games that people love. Collectors love it. It's again rare to see it on location. This one's kind of in beautiful condition. We've had it at the club here a couple of years, and it plays how it should play. But the reason I bought it is for the music. The music in it is absolutely amazing, and. But in terms of gameplay, it plays really long. It's quite a simple game, but you know, it's one of those games that some people just love. You often hear the Lion Man call out from it. Beat the Clock, an interesting Bally game where you're not actually playing 3 balls, you're playing against the clock. This shoots great. As a Bally, it shoots beautifully. The thing that's a bit of a downer for it is the clock thing. I wish it was a normal 3-ball game because it would be brilliant. I think there is a mod for you to turn it into a 3-ball game that someday we should go search out, but shoots beautifully. This game plays lovely. Again, a game, I don't know if there's another one of these on location anywhere in Europe, let alone in the UK. Moving swiftly on, we've got another really rare game. It shoots beautifully. Judge Dredd, wide body. There's so much on this game. It's insane. There's so many mechs, so many ramps, so many different shots. Quite a challenging game. You've also got the super mode game, which makes it, I think, a little bit easier. Kind of puts you into more of a multi-ball mode right away. But this game shoots lovely, and it's very challenging. Lots of flippers on it. I think 4 flippers. which always makes life a little bit harder for the player. Junkyard, you know it, you love it, you hit the big ball in the middle and you keep doing that forever and you win. I mean, that's all I'm going to say on that. Firepower, a brilliant Williams classic game. These are the sort of games that kind of saved Williams back in the day, along with Space Shuttle. Really simple game to shoot. You're trying to collect fire, trying to collect power, you get into multi-ball and boom, away you go. Again, next to it, the one, the only Blackout, kind of a take on Firepower to some extent. Very simple classics game. This was Williams trying to compete with some of the Bally games of the era where, you know, Bally had a real stomp on classic games in the 80s, and Williams were trying to catch up. And then they did catch up big time with Steve Ritchie and High Speed. This game was one of the turnaround games, along with Space Shuttle at Williams. If it wasn't for this game and Space Shuttle, there would be no Williams as we know it today. They were in real trouble. This game turned it around from Steve Ritchie, did a phenomenal job on this game, and really marked Steve's credentials as the kind of king of flow. Another Stern Ali, one of the first licensed games of pinball of all time. So Muhammad Ali actually licensed this. This game is not in great condition from a playfield point of view. It plays really well. I actually have a new playfield for it. We just need to swap it in. But another great Stern classic, one that the tournament guys love. I mentioned Bally and their kind of command of the 80s. Future Spa, a huge wide body, and it's just they did about 6 of these wide bodies. Embryon, Hot Doggin, Future Spa, I can't remember the other ones, but they're all pretty good. They're actually quite fast, even though they're wide bodies. You know, it's all about hitting those 2x drop targets, 2x, 3x, 4x, or 6x rather, and boom, you've won. GoldenEye, this is actually on its way out, but another great kind of Bond game, a lot of fun, quite a simple, easy shooting game. A big winner for Sega at the time when they released this game. I want to say 98? I can't remember. I'm sure the comments will tell me different. And then we start to get to the kind of the business end of gaming. Shadow, a Brian Eddy game that set Brian Eddy on a path. A really phenomenal tournament game. Really kind of first, in my mind, kind of really first kind of proper mode multi-ball and feature game with the battlefield. This one plays lovely. It's tough. It's very fast. We like to keep our games fast and challenging. And you know, Shadow's a game. We've actually got 2 Shadows, one here and one in storage, because it is such a great game. Moving on, Demolition Man. And this Demolition Man's a bit special. We've got the Stumbler mods, DMD on it, which makes it a bit wider. Again, very much, I kind of always have Judge Dredd and Demolition Man kind of in the same ballpark, where you've got a wide body game with tons of stuff on it. This has got, is it 4 flippers as well, or 3 flippers? I can never remember. It's a lot of flippers, but a really tough game. You've got to get the shots right if you want to hit up those really steep ramps. Again, we take pride and joy that we make sure our flippers are super tight, so that you can make those shots. There's nothing worse than going on a game on location and you can't make some of the critical shots. On this game you can make all of them. This is a phenomenal game, and of course you've got good old Sylvester Stallone. There's a big story about I forget the woman's name, but she didn't. All the men got a free game and she didn't get hers, and she was a bit nervous about it. Her name will come back to me, but I can't remember what it is. Attack from Mars, you know it, you love it. You hit the Martians, you beat the Martians, you free the world, and life is good. This is like one of the best games of all time. If you're a pinball collector, you've had this, or you've probably still got it. I've got one at home as well. Just such a compellingly addictive game. Very simple, very straightforward. I literally play this probably every other day at home. It's such a great game. And right next to it, another Brian Eddy. So these are Brian Eddy Lyman Sheets games. Medieval Madness, just another phenomenal game with that big castle toy that everyone loves to hit. Again, if you're a collector, you've probably got this in your collection, or you've probably had it. We've got both these games along with Adam's Family, along with the Shadow. These are really collectible games, and people come here just to play them. These belong to Matt Vince of London Pinball, who sells and rents out pinball machines. Pay him a visit at londonpinball.co.uk, and you can actually hire this game if you want to hire it. Please don't hire it, because we love it having it here at the club. It's beautiful and it plays amazingly. Dennis Norman, so I'm a big Dennis Norman fan. Indianapolis 500 is a Dennis Norman game. It's all about racing cars, and again, it's another kind of one of the early mode-based games that really translates well into competitions. This game's about to go away for a new playfield and a big spruce up, because it's been here for 3 or 4 years and it takes its toll on it, but I love this game. It's one of my favourites. It's a tough game. Again, we've got it set pretty tough here, so that it's challenging to play. But it's got lots of different modes. It's got great call-outs from the Indy 500 commentators. If you ever watched it in the past, you'll know the voices. Dialed In, the only Pat Lawler game that I like. This was Jersey Jack's third game after Hobbit. And it was a theme that didn't go down very well, but actually I think this is a phenomenal game. There's so much to do on this. It's a very deep rule set, and unlike other Jersey Jack games, it's not multi-ball heavy. You've got lots of modes, beautiful light show, great music. Just people didn't like the theme, which is a bit of a shame, because I think this game is super underrated. And it's, as I say, it's the only Jersey Jack game we've got here at the club, and that's for a good reason. Moving on, Pinball Champ 82. So we're here in what we call the Zaccaria row. These are all Italian-made pinball machines. And Pinball Champ 82, if you've seen a Zaccaria, it's probably this game. You've got this upper playfield that you're trying to get to, and you get to the upper playfield by building time. You get to the upper playfield and then you win. Spooky, a super rare game. Again, another Zaccaria game. Very similar. All the Zaccaria games tend to be very similar. You're trying to get the X, you're trying to hit the points, and boom, you win. This is very rare. It's got an animated owl on the back. Very rare game and a lot of fun. Robot, probably a more common Zaccaria game. The little robots pop up and you're trying to knock them down. Again, very challenging, quite fun. Lots of speech in these Zaccaria games. They were one of the early pioneers of speech. Magic Castle, a very well known but very rare Zaccaria game. You're trying to kind of get up to the top of the game and keep the ball up there. A very tough game. In fact, we've only just got this in the club recently. I'm not exactly sure what the best way of playing it is, but it tends to be with Zaccaria games. You're trying to get the bonus multiplier and then build up bonus. That's typically how I approach them. Farfalla, again, another fairly well-known Zaccaria game, pretty much for the back glass. You can figure that out for yourselves, but again, you're trying to get it up to the top playfield and whack those drop targets down. Again, there is nowhere, I think, in the world where you can play 5 Zaccaria games of this quality, only here at Pinball Republic in London. And then we've got some Bally classics on this side. Medusa, an absolutely amazing game. This is so, and actually the thing that's amazing about it is very few people know how to play it. It's got a complex set of rules all around this time, and all around the kind of plunge where it lights the spinner. Go read how to play this game, because it's way more complex than people realise, and if you know the complexity of it, you will win on it. Harlem Globetrotters, you know it, you love it. This is probably if you're going to have a classic in your collection, this is probably the one that's on your list. It's all about hitting the X and lighting the spinner, lighting globe, and boom, you're good to go. Beautiful game there. This was recently restored a couple of years ago, and it plays beautifully. And then my favourite Bally game, Flash Gordon. I actually call it Meat Gordon because it chews you up and spits you out. Again, all about trying to hit these drop targets at the side, but also the drop targets up top. Very tough game, but when you do well on it, boy, do you feel happy. Bally Centaur, not one of my biggest favourite games, but it's very playable. I find this game pretty boring after a while. You're kind of just doing the same thing over and over. It's a heavy multi-ball game. You hit the orbs in the right way, or you hit the shots down the bottom in the right way, and you get multi-ball. Fun game. This one just came in. It's been restored recently. It plays lovely, but it's a long-playing game. Spirit. This is a got-up game. Unfortunately, it's down at the moment. And probably this game probably has one of the most satisfying shots in pinball, which is the shot from the bottom flipper up to the lock shot. If you hit that shot, you will believe that you are Superman for the rest of the day. It's such a difficult shot, but it's one of the most satisfying shots in pinball. At Pinball Republic, we've got a vending machine. You can come in and buy crisps and Coke and stuff like that, or you can bring your own, and you can order food online from Deliveroo. So we're into the last few games in the main area. Dirty Harry, I love this game. It's such a difficult game. I find it really hard, but it's such a playable game. You know, you've got a lot of modes and you're trying to get to the multi-ball. I love that you've got lots of different shots. The shots are tough because of the height involved in them, so you've got to time them well. If you time them well, you'll do brilliantly. And there's some really great call-outs. I don't think from Clint Eastwood, but from someone who did Clint Eastwood, but really well put. Probably one of the earliest theme-based games that I think, or license-based games that I think that really kind of started moving it forward. Creature, who doesn't know about Creature? A phenomenal game. The kind of universal monsters that we all love. You see them in Monster Bash as well. This has also got the Stumbler Mods widescreen DMD in it. It's got a few other things, Stumbler Mods in it as well. This gameplay is really nice. Got a nice hologram, and you're trying to see the monster. Again, there's lots of modes to this game, lots of different ways to play it. And again, another early kind of theme game that I think Bally and Williams did a phenomenal job on it. So I actually find this game very difficult. I find some of the shots really hard to find. But I've kind of grown. I used to really not like it, but I've kind of grown to love it. Scared Stiff Elvira, I think the only woman to be on 3 different pinball machines, and Scared Stiff's another great game. Actually quite simple, not that difficult, but it plays beautifully. I've got to the final mode on this a couple of times, and a great competition game. Again, you've got to get the shots timed right for the ramps. Lots of stuff on the playfield, lots of toys, makes it fun. Black Rose, I absolutely hate this freaking game. If it was on fire, I would not pee on it. I don't know what it is about this game, but it just does nothing for me. Actually, the sink ship bit, the kind of big long shot's quite fun. Again, another challenging tournament game. It's Raymond Davidson, one of his favourite games. I honestly don't know what he sees in it, but the goal is, again, get to the multi-ball, score jackpots. Beyond that, I don't know what much to do on it. It's because frankly, I don't know. There's just something about the shots that I just don't like on this game. It feels a bit thrown together for me. But an original Bally before they merged with Williams, so it's got that kind of funny speaker cabinet at the back. And then Corvette, a George Gomez game, one of George's first games. Again, another license. This is a kind of fun game, but it's so multi-ball heavy. You know, the rest of the modes are pointless. You're just going to get to the multi-ball. It's got a few funny bugs in it, depending on how you do stuff. You can score some wacky points on it. Lots of toys on this. Lots of flow as well. It's got an upper flipper. But actually, if you've played James Bond, the new game from Stern, which is also a Gomez game, there's a lot of shots that are kind of similar on this game. So, you know, he's kind of reusing stuff that works. Total Nuclear Annihilation, Scott Danesi, what a phenomenal game this was. I remember playing the prototype of this when it was a homebrew. I want to say in 2018, and I kind of knew this game. I knew that this was going to become a game. It was just too good not to become a game. Everything except the artwork Scott Danesi did. He did the music, he did the design, he did the electronics, he did the story, he did the DMD graphics, I think. The artwork was added by Matt Andrews, and they nailed it. So much so that Spooky have just done another run of it, although get one of the early games. If you're going to buy this, get one of the early games, because the later games got a lot more issues. I think they cheaped out on a few parts, and it shows. Bally Wizard, probably one of the most common EM games out there, probably one of the last EM games to be made. Although that was me just making that up, it might not be, but I'm pretty sure this was one of the last ones, the last kind of run of EM games that Bally did. And it's, again, it looks like a Bally in terms of how it plays, even the modern Bally games. And it's all about lighting the flags and then getting to this special, very easy game to roll. I like playing it, it's a lot of fun, but it is pretty simple. Bow and arrow, you see bits of Bally games from one game to the next. So you see here the double spinner that's also in Harlem Globetrotters. Bally were really good at taking a module out of one game and kind of mixing it around. And bow and arrow, again, very simple game. I mean, you're just trying to hit that collect bonus shot all the time. That's how I play it. GG, absolute junk. I wish we could get rid of it. Please, Matt, take it away. No, I'm just kidding. GG is like a really early wedge head from Gottlieb. You basically fire a ball and hope that it hits things. There's no skill involved in this game at all. In fact, quite often I'll get a higher score if I just plunge the ball and don't flip than if I do flip. But it's fun. It's good to have a kind of game that points back to the early days of pinball. For some reason it's not coming on. I don't know why. We'll figure that out. Right, so that's the main area of Pinball Republic. I've gone into the back area where we've got a collection of modern Stern games. Why are the modern Stern games in here? Well, they're the only games that fit through the door, so we didn't have a choice. And here we go, here's one of my favourites, The Walking Dead. This is pinball glory at its best. John Borg and again the genius of Lyman Sheets put together one of the best games of all time. If you're a serious pinball player, you have got this game. This is the premium, and the premium's the full game because you need walker bombs. If you've got the pro, sell it and buy a premium. Trust me, you'll write to me and say, Neil, you were right. Thank you for telling me to go buy a premium. This game is just so good. It's tough, it's challenging, but the rule sets really push you to play it again and again and again. And when you get to like a couple of the modes like Horde, holy shit, you feel good about it. Absolutely stunning game. We're now into another Gomez game, Deadpool, and this is like a sleeper hit. I think I don't know if Stern realised how big this game would be. It's one of their best-selling games of all time. It's really well loved. It's really straightforward. George Gomez had to pick up a bit of a mess and run with it. He did a phenomenal job. I want to say Zombie Yeti nailed the artwork, and Jeremy did an absolutely great game. Sorry, not Jeremy. Jerry did an absolutely epic job on the sound for this. They really knocked it out of the park. It's a tough game in many respects. It looks simple, but actually you've got to string a few things together to really get the most out of it. You're all trying to get to mech suit multi-ball by doing lots of combos. Godzilla, well, if you haven't heard of this, you must have been living on the moon. It is Stern's best-selling game of all time by some margin. We have in fact, both Deadpool and Godzilla is the premium version of the game, and this game is just phenomenal. I've never seen a rule set and set of shots so well tied together. A theme that's camp and funny, and really is absolutely amazing. So we should, if you haven't played Godzilla, you must have been living on a moon. But this game is great. I'm not going to tell you much more about it. Go out and play it. In fact, just go out and buy one. You only live twice, otherwise known as James Bond 007. Again, this is the premium version of 007. This game is absolutely outstanding. Another Gomez game. Lonnie and Mike Vinegar have absolutely nailed the rule set on this. If you haven't played this game recently, go play it. We've then got Guardians of the Galaxy. Another John Borg game, very similar to Metallica. It's okay, it's not brilliant. Star Wars, Steve Ritchie's worst game in my view. Absolutely terrible game, a waste of a theme. Some people love it. The rules, Dwight did a great job on the rules, making up for not the best layout in the world, but I'm not a fan of it. This is the Pro. Guardians and Star Wars are the Pro, because the premium on both of these doesn't really make a lot of sense. Same with Jurassic Park, another amazing Keith Elwing game. Really nailed this. This was his second game. A really frustrating game when you first play it, but once you find the shots, this game is a lot of fun. It's one of those games that you only really get the most of it at home, but you can actually get quite far of it on location. We've then got Foo Fighters Premium. This is Jack Danger's really first proper game. It's his kind of second game overall. A lot of fun with great music, some amazing shots, some amazing crossover shots. There's so much on this playfield, it's insane. A lot of fun, but I find this game super difficult. Finally, all but finally, we've got Avengers, another Keith Elwing game. This is the premium, which is the only version to buy. The pro is like half the game. You've got the tunnel, you've got the amazing U-bend shot. This game shoots so well. It's very challenging. Everyone says, the rules are so complex. Honestly, forget the rules and just play it. You'll learn the rules as you go along. There's nothing complex about the rules in this game. everyone who says that just hasn't played it enough, or just hasn't taken their kind of stupid hat off to learn how to play it. And then last but not least, Metallica. This is the LE of Metallica. Another Lyman Sheets John Borg union. The rules on this are phenomenal. You really need the big hammer in the game. Hit Sparky, hit the hammer, hit the drop targets, and you'll score big to some reasonable music. But yeah, it's a phenomenal game, and that's all the games at Pinball Republic. Come soon. They may not be here for much longer. All the best. This is Neil.